There hasn't been a new asset class since the bond market was created in 1693. Well, now there's a new asset class, and it is the digital asset space. The question is, are you participating? Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Steve Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. Yes, this is Generational Wealth Wednesday. Guys, stay tuned. Come join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we talk generational wealth strategies every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have a really, really great conversation today on why you need a home-based business. Absolutely. We're going to share that today. It's going to be a really exciting time. Looking forward to seeing each and every one of you there tonight for sure. But yeah, I got to tell you, anybody think that this MoneyGram and Uber thing for setting up the people from Uber to help cut the costs down for sending money to the family is a deflection? It's a sleight of hand. It's a misdirection. Anyone else thinking that? Because that's what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking, and I got some info to share to prove it. A little bit of a sleight of hand move, a little misdirection, if you will. It's pretty funny what they did there. Oh, there it is. Let's do that, right? It's a little bit of a misdirection. What is going on, guys? Good to see you in the stream this morning. Jay Corn, good morning to you. Maybe Sober's here. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you and good morning. Yeah, absolutely. Going to talk about this thing that's going on right now, the IMF. Now, I was just before I went live, I hit that go live button. I saw that CKJ Crypto News looked like Crypto News? CKJ covered this article. I'm not sure what he went into detail about it, but I'm going to cover it as well. I still think the China thing is absolutely massive. Don't be fooled. I believe that the MoneyGram and Uber thing, a little sleight of hand there going on, a little misdirection, if you will. We shall see. We shall see. A little bit of information about MasterCard as well, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to share that with you guys too. Shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf, XRP Researcher, XRP Marshall. Some really good stuff. We're going to share some of their tweets from I guess it was from yesterday, maybe even early this morning. We're going to talk about that as well. Good to see you in the stream today. What a great and amazing day to be in a digital asset space. You got to love it when you're an early adopter to an entirely new asset class. And that new asset class is the digital asset space. And we're early to the game. And never forget it, guys. We are playing a game that 99.99% of the masses don't even know is being played. And we are winning, my friends. We are winning. Absolutely excited about that. Yeah, so China's doing this thing. It's a big time wake-up call. I'm going to share a little tweet from Ashish Barilla. Yeah, and I think XRP Crypto Wolf is the guy who shared it. Interesting little comment, interesting little bit of 2 minutes there. We're going to talk about that as well. What's going on in the markets? I don't even know. I'm looking forward to the price set. I'm looking forward to waking up one morning and XRP is 3 digits or 4 digits. That's what I'm looking forward to. But we'll check the market. Let's see what the numbers are looking like. Oh, by the way, guys, just in case you didn't know it, it looks as though the Sum app from Ven of XRPL Labs is updated to the newest versions for both Android and iPhones and the iOS, I guess is what it's called. That I believe is going to allow for you to delete your accounts somehow with that thing. I don't know how to do it, but that was the latest word from Ven. So I went on my Sum app this morning, and the first thing that popped up was that very fact that it has been updated to, I think it's 0.50 for Androids and 0.49 for the iOS systems. So Again, I don't know how they're going to do it, how it works, but at least you can do it through the Sum app, which is really, really exciting to see that we say Ven is doing his thing. Those guys over there at XRPL Labs are doing their thing. So let me check the markets. I'm rambling on. Let's see what's going on. Check out my Binance app and see what the market is doing. Hope you guys had a really, really good morning so far. This is really, really good. I got to tell you, again, I'm going to say it again and again and again until someone proves me wrong. This new executive order that the President Donald Trump has put out is huge. BTC is at 9,100. Wow. Wasn't it just at 8,800 yesterday? Wow. So it's back up to 9,100. Interesting. XRP is at 19 cents, almost 20. Ethereum is at $205. So there that is right there. Litecoin is at $43. So that's what's kind of going on in the markets. If you're into the price thing, Capello MG is here. Good to see you. Good morning, my friend. XRP Love Maker. How about that? Yeah, I see this. XRP Love Maker said Max Kaiser said on October 31st of 2019 that China has 20,000 tons of gold and will be launching a digital currency backed by gold. Now here we are. Yeah, we are here. They launched it, got a little experiment. You know, they've gone past the kind of the proof of concept and they're actually in the experiment, right? Where they're going to be monitoring it, right? The digital, the DCEP, issue from the PBOC to the commercial banks and the commercial banks in a wholesale manner. And the commercial banks will get it out to the masses for the retail, right? And the retail, right? You'll have an option to transfer your deposits that you have in the fiat to transfer it over to their DCEP and be able to spend it, right? So cool. They are out doing their thing in 4 cities? China's out doing their thing in 4 cities. And I said, Brad Garlinghouse yesterday in his tweet called out the regulators. I said he came out from hiding, swinging. And I still believe that. Brad Garlinghouse came out from hiding, swinging. He went straight to the regulators, called them complacent, called out the fact that China is moving forward and about to make the good old US of A second best in terms of its economy and in terms of its US dollar dominance. China is looking to make the US of A second best. Regulators, what are you going to do about it? And you guys know I covered the executive order a couple of times now, and I believe that those agencies that are now allowed to rescind and modify, provide exceptions or exemptions to these regulations, 3 of them, the SEC, the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and the OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, will be the game changers, in my opinion, for the digital asset space, right? They will firmly embrace this new executive order and get to work. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. I know there's only one fintech company in the good old US of A that the regulators are intimately familiar with, not only with their name and where they're located, but with the technology that they have to offer. And if I said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I don't believe that the President of the United States, is going to let, first of all, America become second best. Do you think that this dude wants to be the president that allowed for the US dollar to become second best? I don't think so. It may happen, but he's going to go down swinging. And do you think that he's going to let a good old US of A fintech company out of San Francisco with the most superior technology in terms of payments, finality, just in everything, quite honestly, right? Yeah, interoperability. What fintech company is as advanced in the concept of interoperability, which the major players like the WEF, The the SFB, the IMF, they all want interoperability with other fintech companies out there and have been working with the regulators from day one that provides interoperability. We can't forget about that because Ripple has created the ILP and gifted it to the W3C. Let us not forget that as well. So the Donald, again, in his back pocket, I believe, he has this good old US of A company called Ripple that can easily bring us to the front and center of the line in terms of superior technology on all kinds of fronts. All kinds of fronts. Let us not forget. Number one, for terms of interoperability. Number two, in terms of efficiency and costs and cross-border payments, transparency. Don't sleep on Codius. That's the monster. Codius is the monster. Can't sleep on that either. All roads point to Ripple, a good old US of A company. When the Donald decides to embrace it and take this technology on, it will be, the US of A will be leading in blockchain technology and DLT. That's the bottom line. There hasn't been a company doing it longer and better than Ripple. China said that China put out that they started doing their thing with their CBDC in 2014. Well, guess what? Ripple has started and been doing their thing since 2012, led by a CTO who was in this space in 1998 with his own patented technology, and David Schwartz. So all the Donald, the SEC and the OCC and the CFPB who mentioned Ripple and its digital asset XRP, all they have to do is move toward adopting this technology. And it will, in fact, in my opinion, make the good old US of A number one in the space. If you embrace the number one fintech company in the space of blockchain and DLT, and no one can argue that. There's no one can argue that Ripple is numero uno with this technology in blockchain and DLT. All the good old US of A has to do is embrace it and adopt the technology, and then that will make the good old US of A number one. It's really that simple. And I believe that's the Donald. It's in the Donald's plan. Again, like I said, I've said it 10,000 times. I don't know if it's plan A, plan B, or plan C, but I'm firmly convinced that it's in the plans. Ripple and XRP is in the plans. Capella MG, that's a great question. I don't know. I only know a little bit about Crypto.com. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about it. I don't know enough about their business model to compare it. I'm always leery of high numbers because I don't know if I'm not sure that for me that falls short of sustainability, because you can put 12%, right? But at the end of the year, did you get 12%? In other words, was it sustainable enough for the people that join the platform, right, to each get 12%? I'm not sure if that's sustainable or not. That is always the challenge. So that's what BlockFi had issues with, right? You can put numbers up, but in the end, if you end up liquidating them for whatever the reason, the platform is not sustainable. Massive liquidations to me spells, right, points to an unsustainable business model, whether it be in its business practices and how they're doing, what are they doing to provide this 12%? How are they able to do it? Those are the things that you have to look underneath the hood and behind the curtains, if you will, to see what they're doing. So I do know that Crypto.com has a card and several cards. I do know that. I've heard that it's very, very easy for people to get on there and buy some assets and get off, right? Bruh XRP, who's a constant and familiar, consistent member to the channel, he says he uses it for that. So again, for me, I think sustainability and why I entered this digital asset space, Capello, in the high yield investment platforms where they talk 12% a day, where they talk 7, 8, 9% a day. And it was a space going on for about a year and a half in the digital asset space, just moving. And they all proved to not be sustainable. So 12% a year, I get it. I would be curious to see what's the business model. I would be curious to see, and how are they getting their yield? How transparent are they in providing the yield? Do they have a YouTube channel? Do they have a Telegram chat? Right? Do they get on Medium? What's transparency look like? Do they share their numbers, right? Because Celsius.network does all of those things. Medium, YouTube channel, ask me anything questions, constantly being interviewed on different channels, complete transparency on how they provide the yield to the platform, right? The people on the platform. So those are the things that I would look for. Yeah. So again, I didn't check out Crypto.com's business model, so I can't say what it looks like. I would like to see transparency from Crypto.com as much as they could possibly do, so that we can be comfortable with putting our hard-earned assets on the platform. And I think that's the thing that Alex Mashinsky does that sets him above and beyond everyone else, is he's willing to be transparent, open, and share the business model. And they were first as well, right? First to the market. And they've been massively successful in just 3 years, right? So that's kind of my take on them. But guys, listen, let me tell you something. Capella says, thanks, man. You can see their model under terms and conditions of the EARN program. Yeah. And again, that's great. And I would like to see them, somebody from them, right? 2 or 3 people from them with the channel, right? Like being able to answer and, right, questions. All of these things I think is important for us, right? We want to get to know the CEO, the co-founders, the CTOs, all these different things on an intimate basis, so that we can ask questions and decide for ourselves if this is a platform that we can trust, that will be safe and keep our assets safe as well. Absolutely. So Eli's in the building. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. What's going on, Eli? Daniel Martinez is in the building. Show some love. What's up? What's up, Daniel? Good to see you in the stream this morning. Big Face No Cap is here. Should we be buying XDC? I don't know, my dude. I don't have any of the, what is it, DCE or something like that? XDCE? I don't have any of the sentiment. Again, for me, if they're in the same, around the same neighborhood as XRP, for me, I would just rather have XRP. That's just why I don't have Stellar, right? I got a champ. I got to win in XRP, right? I'd rather put my dollars into VeChain, right? In its own lane, doing its own thing and winning, right? Completely winning that space that they're in. But that's me personally, right? XRP Wrangler, good to see you, my friend. All right, guys. So what should we go over first? Let's see. What should we go first? What should I share with you guys first? Let me give some credit out to some people. Make sure I do this right here on Twitter. Let's share the screen. We don't need any audio right now. Where's XRP Crypto Wolf? Let's do that one first. So shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf for sharing this. IMF senior official said private companies can boost central bank digital currencies. Multiple private companies could issue and manage digital currencies that are backed by the same central bank liabilities with much greater innovation in retail payments. Okay, this is the article from Coindesk.com that I'm going to share. I'm going to share some of that, but the one that I really wanted to share was this one, I believe. XRP can play a vital role as a bridge between the CBDCs. Hey, baby. Where one country's currency can be converted to XRP and then converted to another country's currency in a matter of seconds without the need of holding XRP. Digital asset, this is from the National Digital Asset Exchange and the Index CEO. This is an interesting article. We're going to share that, but where's the one that I wanted to really share? There it is right here. Are the fates of Ripple, the IMF, and the central banks intertwined? CBDCs just got real. The idea of a central bank digital currency a couple of months ago felt like a distant dream, but now it's more than real, as countries are now rushing to create a digitized version of their national fiat currency. The market has become highly diverse too. We have come a long way from Bitcoin to a plethora of options that Satoshi's creation enabled. We have learned about how digital currencies challenge the traditional definition of money, the role of central banks, and the financial intermediation model. We are talking CBDCs now. Most central banks today are either actively engaged in researching about CBDCs or are actively pursuing its development. So what is a CBDC exactly? Despite a dozen reports published, there is no set consensus on its definition. Very, very true. I have a couple of PDFs up here as well in the tabs about from Swiss and the EY talking about CBDCs and wanting to get a better definition, right, in terms of regulatory framework of what exactly is a CBDC. In short, a CBDC is a digital form of fiat that is centralized control. And while CBDCs were on everyone else's mind for a while, it was Facebook's Libra announcement that threw a spanner in the bowstring of its work. Expanding on the scope of the CBDC, one of the value propositions of it, though not explicitly mentioned, is the cross-border angle. And as proposals regarding the same became more concrete, especially with the digital form of cash, the ease of its circulation will dramatically increase. This dimension is what needs exploration. First up, the Chinese CBDC, christened DCEP. And I had Brad Garlinghouse talking about these central bank digital currency. It was a great tweet from him. I'll cover that here in a second. The Chinese expedition, long before Bank of England released a working paper on CBDCs, it was China that began working on it since 2014 precisely. It isn't surprising that China was not happy with the US dollar role as the global reserve currency. In a bid to extend its reach, China expanded cross-border trade with the renminbi settlement project, focusing initially on the Hong Kong market in 2009. 6 years later, the renminbi received the status of reserve currency from the IMF. The RMB was added to the IMF special drawing rights basket a year later in 2016. Special drawing rights, or SDR, is essentially an international reserve asset created by the IMF in the year 1969 to supplement its member countries' official reserves. This was an important milestone in the integration of the Chinese economy into the global financial system. In fact, it even surpassed the US to position itself as the world's largest goods trader in 2014, a title that the US had held for decades. I think they flip-flop back now. The rise of China in the global economy is nothing short of remarkable. Despite the fact that the US dollar remained a dominant currency, China's esoteric experiments with digitizing its national currency are another step toward replacing the former. And guys, let us not forget about the digital dollar project that is currently going on, right? That initiative is taking place. We just haven't heard anything from them about it and its progress. The DCEP is yet another revolution by the Chinese in their attempt to achieve global dominance as the world grappled with the beer code fallout. Dubbed digital electronic payments, China's CBDC is pegged one-to-one with its fiat currency, full reserve banking. What appears to be a surface level and general view that the CBDC will take effect in around home jurisdictions. In the long run, it is believed that the DCEP will challenge the highly efficient traditional cross-border remittance sector by channeling faster and frictionless payments. And by the way, guys, if you have not checked out that video on, I believe it was on the Money Movement channel, which is Jeremy Allaire's channel, you want to check out that video because he had the guy from formerly of the PBOC and Bitmain talking about China's DCEP. Very, very interesting read. He only got a few minutes to talk, unlike the other two guys, the first two guests. But those few minutes were very impactful and powerful. All right. So alas, there can be no end all answer to the many questions posed by the cross-border remittance sectors without addressing the literal giant in the room, Ripple, right? The San Francisco-based firm Ripple has been enjoying a good amount of monopoly, at least in the DLT-based remittance sector. Yeah, sure has. It has expanded to multiple corridors and has seen active volume in all of these corridors. However, if CBDCs emerge in different parts of the world with one of its main value propositions being disrupted, the legacy cross-border remittance sector, it will make Ripple's tech largely redundant, as banks will always go for the option that has always been approved by the government. Let's see if we can't debunk that theory there. Further, let's not forget that the blockchain company is already facing an ongoing lawsuit. So so it's here. Alas, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse does not seem concerned. This is what I was going to share. He tweeted this out. As he previously commented, a bank-issued digital asset can only really efficiently settle between the banks who issued it. Then two scenarios can play out. Scenario one, all banks around the world put aside competitive and geopolitical differences, adopt the same digital asset, agree on its rules, and harmoniously govern its usage. He says, fat chance. The result would be an even more fragmented currency landscape than what we have today. XRP's own status is as clear as mud. Unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are commodities, the status of XRP is still unclear. The long XRP commodity security debate is yet to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hello, SEC or CFTC. Despite this, what has caught the attention of many was XRP being labeled as a supranational currency in an official document that discussed a digital fiat currency. What's even more baffling was that the Bitcoin was just labeled as a cryptocurrency. Yeah, I remember when this came out here. I remember that supranational currency. Digital fiat currency is this. Digital fiat currency is not. And you got supranational currency right there, Ripple and XRP. I remember when this first came out, everyone was, yeah. So was a tie-up with Ripple the plan all along? Supranational currency or super currency is a hypothetical global currency that will be backed by a basket of reserve currency at the IMF. The idea is to form a basis for a new global monetary system and replace the current US dollar system. While the idea of this currency was part of the Keynes plan, it has gained traction once again. Its beer code wreaked havoc, and China's DCEP neared its readiness for mass use. However, Ripple could be way ahead of all of this. Its connection with the IMF and central banks needs no introduction. So very important. Let us not forget. Those very words. Its connection with the IMF and central banks needs no introduction. Even the blockchain firm's Swells conference witnessed the participation of Raghu Rajan, the former governor of the Reserve Bank of India and chief economist for the International Monetary Fund. They're at the Swell event. Why do you think that is? Interestingly, at the event, Rajan had dismissed the idea of XRP becoming a global currency, and I believe this is the one where Brad Kimes asked a question from the audience, saying that it is not something that the cryptocurrency is trying to become. Right. However, Ripple's trace with central banks goes back all the way to 2017, when it announced gathering over 24 of them from around the world to explore its technology at the Central Bank Summit on Blockchain, which started with a presentation by the IMF on fintech's potential to change market structure, opening new possibilities, payments. Even in the Swiss National Bank conference, apart from some high-profile representatives from the financial world and the IMF, it was Brad Garlinghouse who was seated at the front table representing the cryptocurrency industry. Not Dan Larimer, smart and brilliant guy that he is. Not Charles Hoskinson, smart and brilliant guy that he is. Not Vitalik Buterin, smart and brilliant young man that he is. It's Brad Garlinghouse. Not the people from XFen. Not the people from Stellar Lumen. Not the people from Hedera Hashgraph. Not the people from Tezos. Not the people from Chainlink. It was Brad Garlinghouse. Considering the fact that Ripple has always been vocal about wanting to complement the US dollar rather than replacing it, can the main intention behind the IMF and Ripple's weird, or rather wired, appearances together be a sign of something? This is the question that we are always asking. Why is Brad Garlinghouse being walked in tandem, arm, right? She's got her arms around his arm, walking this dude in. Why is that? Just because she needed a date? Why is that? Theories claiming IMF wants to tie the SDR to XRP for settlements might make sense for some, but it's far-fetched. However, even if we were to assume otherwise, this would mean a financial system in which the IMF, Ripple, and central banks are all intertwined. In that case, XRP could be used as a bank core or a supranational currency. Very, very powerful stuff, guys. Let me get back in the chat here real quick. We're almost done, but let me get back into the chat. I'm gonna leave it right there. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So I know it's hard to determine. Let's go right there. There's some good stuff there, right? Great article. Right? A really, really good article. Bro, XRP is in the building. What's going on, bro? Yeah, Eli, I did check that out. He let me know about it ahead of time. He texted me. I saw that. He was the guy who turned me on. He pointed out to me in the executive order. He texted me like 6:30 in the morning. He said, agencies, check it out in the executive order. And I went deep diving on agencies. And then he texted me like 11:30 in the morning and said that he had put something out on Coil about it. And I did my video about it at like 11 in the morning. And then I went to, after the video, I went to go see his Medium thing, and we went down the same rabbit hole, came to the same conclusion. I missed the SEC. I missed the SEC, Eli. He mentioned the SEC in his Coil blog. I believe it was on Coil. I pointed out the OCC with Brian Brooks and the CFPB mentioning, because they had mentioned Ripple, right? CFPB mentioned Ripple and the digital asset XRP, right? Brian Brooks, the COO of the OCC, was so big on digital assets and crypto firms. So I focused on those two and totally missed the impact that the SEC can have. And he pointed that out, and his Coil thing was a really great read. I hope you guys have a chance to check that out. So, yeah, DeepMind did a really good job. Go check them out on YouTube, guys. If you haven't done that already, it's Crypto Visionaire on YouTube. Really, really smart guy. You guys know him because he comes into the channel for sure. But definitely go subscribe, give him a sub as well. TJ Jackson, what's going on, my friend? Still working. All right. Be cool. Be safe there, bro. Yeah, right. Capello MG, what's this? What are some sound saving instruments to earn passive income? Well, for me, I have two. My friends, great question. Because generational wealth, my formula for generational wealth is GW equals DA, which is digital assets, plus sound saving instruments multiplied by cash flow business, CFB. And mine's are the Celsius Network and infinite banking concept, which is dividend paying whole life insurance. And that allows me to control the banking function of my life and to stop taking away the value of my capital and giving it to someone else, because letting someone else control the banking function in our lives is giving up the value of your capital. So those are my two. Great question, my friend. Great question. What's going on, bro? XRP, good to see you, man. So that's a really good read. I gotta tell you, that's a great article. Great write-up there. From the ENG.AMB crypto. It's a really, really good article. I'm going to continue it, but I just wanted to see what you guys had going on in chat. What? That's not good, man. Bro, XRP, are you serious? That's not good, man. Stay away from VeChain Strength node. You need 2 million VeChain to run the node, not 1 million like advertised. How did you lose the million, though? How did you lose it? Because now it's locked up, or like you can't get it back? Did I miss anyone else on the stream? Nope. Appreciate you guys. All right, let me get back to this article without question. All right, so it is hard to determine what exactly is going on behind the scene. Whatever be the case, Ripple knows how to position its company. It is one of the most successful firms in the space for a reason. Attempts to distinguish itself from the rest is one of many examples of Ripple's vouching to be pro-regulation. That's exactly right. What can we expect? In light of such speculation, how must one view CBDCs? Well, according to Bilal Hammond, president and CEO at National Digital Asset Exchange, which is index.io, one must view it as an upgrade to current financial paper currency. Furthermore, while talking to AMB Crypto, Hammond, now he's got Hammond here, Hammond, while refusing to get into conspiracy theory debates, asserted that despite CBDC's emergence in the future, there will still be a need for a bridge currency such as XRP for settling transactions quickly and efficiently between countries, he added. There you go. So he didn't want to get into the whole IMF and Ripple and central banks conspiring together to make XRP the one. But he did say there will still be a need for a bridge currency such as XRP for settling transactions quickly and efficiently between countries. He added, for cross-border payments, it has become increasingly important for banks to offload the risk of notional exchange accounts and the cost of hedging foreign currency. XRP can play a vital role as a bridge between the different CBDCs, where one country's currency can be converted to XRP, then converted to another country's currency in a matter of seconds without the need of holding XRP. I mean, that, my friends, it says it all. And again, if we know, they know. This guy knows this, right? The CEO of NASDAQ.io. He knows that that's the potential. He knows that that's possible. It's a possibility. And again, given this new executive order from the Donald, how quickly can they now begin to put this into action? That, my friends, is a $68 million question. And I believe it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Let me share something from Ashish Barilla, just in case some of you guys were thinking that this MoneyGram Uber thing was just a way for MoneyGram to do something nice. Not that it isn't very nice, but just in case you think it's just, for them to do something nice. Let me share something with you guys. So shout out to XRP researcher who shared this. He retweeted a tweet from Ashish Barilla. So I'm gonna have to stop it because I want to let you guys check the audio. So let me stop the share. Go back here, reshare with the audio. Yeah, so this is a video with Ashish Barilla talking back in the day in 2019. So enjoy this, guys.
Think that they should be in the payment business. Research in terms of what was broken with the financial system and the payment system, and we went out and visited with Uber and Airbnb and Google and the others. And what I realized is that these firms, we think of them as tech firms, but a large part of what they do and the value they provide are payments. And I went to Uber and they have 200 people working specifically on payments, and that's because the current system doesn't work for them. So they rebuilt a payment system using 200 people all around the world. Amazon, for example, has 206 different payment connections to facilitate merchant payouts for their platform. And so, they're pushing innovation. And I don't think that they should be in the payment business. I think that they should use, other technologies instead of, and focusing on what they're really good at. And so, their role right now has been to push innovation, and I think that's a good thing. But in the future, we're hoping that there's other solutions like the ones Ripple provides so that they don't have to get in that business themselves. What we're seeing is this trend, especially in Asia and Latin America, of folks moving from cash to digital. And, those are really hot markets for Ripple. We're signing up tons of customers there. But I think we're doing it in conjunction with the most innovative banks. And so I think that, in Silicon Valley, there's this thing that banks are going to be dead. We disagree. We think that especially in emerging markets, some of the banks out there are moving faster than a lot of fintechs. And so we're building a new payment network built on blockchain. We're bringing together the most innovative financial institutions around the world to make that happen. To that, as it relates to blockchain, Southeast Asia has taken a leadership position from a regulatory perspective. in regulating blockchain. And the PayPal of Thailand, for example, offers cryptocurrencies in its wallet. You can use cryptocurrencies for remittances in those countries, and it's dropped the cost of remittances. And so you're seeing them use regulation as a platform for innovation.
Yeah, so like I'm not even sure. To me, that is an absolute mic drop moment. Is that not a mic drop? To me, that is an absolute mic drop moment. What's up, D. Kirch? Good to see you. Good to see you hanging out there at work. Be careful, bro. Be careful. To me, that is an absolute mic drop moment. Right? And we all know that video has been covered. We know it's been covered, right? But it is more important today than back then when we first discovered it. He said Google. He said Amazon. He said Google. Did I say Google already? So he said Google. He said Amazon. He said Uber. Right? 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 Uber. We visited with each and every one of those: Google, Amazon, Uber, and Airbnb. We visited them. He pointed out a pain point, massive pain point for Uber. 200 employees, a necessity for payments because of the current payment situation. 200 employees because of the current payment situation. We believe at Ripple that they have such great technology. They should be focusing on their innovation of their technology and not be in the payments business. And then, well, you look at here, MoneyGram and Uber, just something to be, to do good, a do good partnership, right? Where MoneyGram and Uber, it's a partnership, right? Why did they announce it? It's a way to take care of the Uber employees because we know that they do a lot of things cross-border. To me, that is a misdirection. It's a deflection on the bigger plan. On the bigger plan. That's what it feels like to me. On the bigger plan. And why MoneyGram and not directly Ripple? Don't know. Maybe it's because of the regulatory situation. Maybe because MoneyGram's already kind of regulated and using ODL already with XRP. Right? Remember David Schwartz said that MoneyGram was the workaround. That partnership became the workaround for ODL with MoneyGram. Remember that? So I don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it, guys. Don't think this MoneyGram Uber thing is just about helping the Uber employees be able to send money to their family, providing them with a discount. Don't sleep on that. Right? What's going on, none of your business? What's going on, my friend? Good to see you on the stream tonight, right? Don't sleep on that, guys. It's bigger. I use the word a misdirection, a little bit of sleight of hands there. Because, you don't have to announce a partnership just to help some employees save on cross-border payments. You don't have to announce that partnership. You can just do that. You can just reach out and say, hey, we're willing to do this, right? Why the partnership announcement? You ever think about that? Right? Why the partnership announcement like that? To support drivers. And oh yeah, remember the Ripple presentation where they highlighted XVIA and the API, and they had Uber and they had Amazon and 2 or 3 others on there as well. Remember that? And the Ripple presentation. Let me see if I can't find some of those. I want to see so. Let me see if I can't find the one I want to share with you guys. This MasterCard thing is cool too. That's a good one. Let me do this. Let me go here. Hold on one second, guys. I want to find this one. There it is right there. There it is. Okay, good. All right, let me share this with you guys. Remember this? One interface for payments across networks. One interface for payments across networks. And they got listed here. Let me see. They got listed here. Seagate. We already know about Seagate partnership. Uber and Amazon. Ripple API on top via XVIA. Remember that presentation? But will you look at there? Will you look at there? Wow. Let us not forget. And this is a shout out to David Schwartz. One of the largest frictions around, first of all, Mickey B. Fresh did this. So this was after David Schwartz. David Schwartz, one of the largest frictions around crypto and security is the authentication process, right? Authentication process. Learn how biometrics is solving this challenge on my latest Blockstars chat with Keyless Tech, right? The people from Keyless Tech. And then Mickey B. Fresh just happens to point out, let me go back. Let me see. Let's make sure I get this. Mickey B. Fresh said, replying to Ripple and Keyless Tech, Doxson, interested to know how keyless technology works and the advanced architecture design. Fantastic slideshow from their website. Keyless is a spring investment and partner. This is how we push back on the attempts at the government control with distributed technology, right? Ripple is not messing around. And then they're highlighting the podcast, and they're highlighting the podcast on the Ripple Twitter site, probably on their .com as well, for a reason, because it's a spring investment and partnership. And I did download the this document here as well, and I'm looking forward to going over it. Is this it? That's not it. But I'm looking forward to going over it and make sure I get it again. Again, when they look to this fintech company, Spring is included in that. So when the good old US of A looks for a fintech company that can lead the good old US of A in DLT and blockchain, Spring is included in that. Spring investment into this company partnership, right? So Ripple has it all covered: custody, biometrics, authentication, KYC, AML, interoperability, a ledger with zero transaction errors, and it's tens and tens and tens and tens and tens and tens and millions of it. So again, like I always say in my channel, the ILP, the XRPL, Codius, XRP, ODL, just pick one. Ripple has them covered. Ripple has it all covered. And then you throw in this the investment into Bread, the BRD wallet, and Blockset. Ripple has it all covered. The good old USFA company has it all covered. So here's keyless. Adopt zero trust. Pay wordless multi-factor authentication with just a look across the enterprise. Nothing to remember, nothing to steal. You are the key. Spring investment and partner, which equals Ripple partner. So guys, tell me what it is that Ripple, the good old US of A fintech company, does not have covered. They have it all covered. They have everything covered. Every single thing you can think of, they got it covered. Then you throw in PolySign. Anyone think that PolySign is just out doing their own thing without any Ripple ties? Anybody think that? Anybody think PolySign is just, just a thing we're doing? Anyone think that Arthur Bretto and David Schwartz said Ripple's cool, they got their great technology, we don't need anything that they might have to offer, we're just going to be doing our own thing over here? Anybody think that? Anybody think that PolySign is going to go out and deal with the second best fintech company? Not likely. Michael Anderson is in the building. How you doing, Mike? Anthony King is here. No, I did not know. People from Goldman Sachs at a meeting or talking Bitcoin. I did not know that, Anthony King. Right? But Ripple, the good old US of A fintech company known as Ripple Labs, has it all covered. And the Donald has an opportunity to embrace and adopt its technology, private company, right? That old private public, thing. And then lead the way. Once that happens, the good old US of A will be in the lead. It will lead the way in blockchain and DLT. And all you have to do is get rid of these regulations that is not allowing these banks to do what they need to do, not allowing other crypto firms and fintech firms to do what they need to do. And I just humbly submit to you that the Donald is not going to let this slip by. He's not going to let Japan and Mr. Yoshitaka Kitao scream from the rooftops, Ripple and XRP, and not take advantage of that himself in the good old US of A. I don't see it happening, my friends. I don't see it happening. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up the stream with that. I appreciate you guys hanging today. It's been a great hang without question. I got to get out of here. I got another call to get on. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Guys, never ever forget this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, but we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We're in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.